Hello, my name is Chris, and today I would like to read to you chapter 25 from my book Quit Smoking and Be Happy. This chapter is called Weight Gain, and it's about why we gain weight when we quit smoking and what to do about it. Quit Smoking and Be Happy is available in print and ebook forms from Amazon and Google Play. You can get the link in the description below or by going to chrisscoyles.com/book. For now though, let's dive into it. This is chapter 25, Weight Gain, from Quit Smoking and Be Happy. The ominous threat of a few extra pounds is often enough to send many a would-be non-smoker into a panic. Nightmares of expanding waistlines and pants which no longer fit can override even the deepest desires to quit smoking. So it would be impossible to finish this book without first diving into this subject and looking at not only why weight gain happens, but what we can do about it. On the surface, there may be many reasons why we gain a little weight when on our journey to freedom, but most of them come down to two things, which are science and emotional overeating. Let's tackle each one of these in turn, shall we? First, the science stuff. Metabolism is the process in which our bodies break down the food that we eat and change it into energy. The speed at which this process occurs in our body is known as our metabolic rate. The higher our metabolic rate, the faster we burn calories. Numerous studies have shown that smoking increases our metabolism, meaning that the calories consumed by a smoker are burned off faster than those consumed by a non-smoker. When we quit smoking, we therefore see a drop in our metabolic rate. When this drop occurs without any changes to our diet or lifestyle, it can result in weight gain. In most cases, this is usually only a few pounds, but in extreme examples, particularly among former smokers who already had an unhealthy diet to begin with, the weight can reach as much as 10 or 11 pounds. That may sound like a lot, but it's nothing that can't easily be remedied by making the kind of positive lifestyle choices that I've been advocating for throughout this book. Make helpful choices about what you put into your body. Make helpful choices about getting up and moving around, and you'll already be doing plenty to negate that natural reduction in your metabolic rate. Now, it's at this point that a few people might look at that donut, look at that cigarette, and conclude that if continuing to smoke means they avoid gaining weight, then it's worth it. If you're one of these people, let me assure you that it absolutely isn't worth it. The way that smoking increases the metabolic rate is by causing the heart to beat up to 25 times faster than normal. This puts so much added stress on the heart that it significantly increases the risk of heart disease. I'm no longer willing to risk heart disease for the sake of fitting into my favorite pair of jeans. Are you? It's much easier and much less life-threatening to steam a few veggies and go for a walk once in a while instead. Still, metabolism only goes halfway to explaining what's really going on for some of us when we put on a few post-quit pounds. There's another, arguably more serious issue that we need to talk about, and that's emotional overeating. This is when we use food as a substitute for nicotine, devouring everything we can as a means of numbing ourselves to or distracting ourselves from emotional pain and discomfort. I say that this is more serious because, while it's relatively easy to address the change in our metabolism, breaking the psychological compulsion to change the way that we feel with food, or with any substance for that matter, can be a much more complex one. Many of us go through life without developing healthy, effective coping strategies for the broad range of thoughts and feelings that human beings are capable of experiencing. We're not necessarily to blame for this either. As we grow up, people spend more time telling us what we need to do to fit in with society at large, and significantly less time teaching us effective coping strategies that could save us from years of addiction, depression, self-loathing, and self-destruction. As such, we're left to figure out much of it for ourselves, and the best we often come up with is to use quick fixes that will offer a temporary numbness or distract us from the pain we're in, because that's what the world at large suggests that we do. I watched TV last night, and within the space of an hour, I was told that if I was having a bad time, I should eat a Snickers, go to McDonald's, and buy lots of new stuff. Yet while we may not necessarily be to blame for seeking these quick fix band-aids for our deepest soul wounds, now that we know better, we absolutely must take responsibility and start making healthier decisions. By the time we reach this point in our journey, most of us have smartened up to the idea that using cigarettes as a quick fix band-aid for every emotion only ends up doing us more harm than good. Yet one of the biggest contributions to weight gain in former smokers is that we simply replace one form of band-aid with another. Rather than finding healthy, productive ways to manage our emotions, we instead look for something else that will quickly change those emotions. Usually, the easiest way to do that is with food. All we're doing here is swapping one addiction for another without ever stopping to consider the really important questions that we should be asking ourselves. Why, when we're feeling so bad, do we revert to self-destructive behavior? Why are we prepared to cause ourselves long-term harm just to get short-term relief from our emotional distress? Why do we have so little love for ourselves that we choose behaviors which hurt rather than heal? Here's another question. Isn't it better to dive deep, to find the source of our pain and remove it altogether, rather than temporarily numbing it with another cookie? Isn't it going to do us far more good to heal those deep soul wounds than it is to stick a flimsy, burger-shaped band-aid over it? When I was young, I developed an acute pain in my stomach and had to be rushed to hospital. The doctors gave me pain medication, which masked the pain for a little while, but didn't make it go away altogether. The pain only went away for good when those doctors took the time to properly examine me, discover the root cause of that pain, and do something about it. In this case, it turned out to be appendicitis. Once the doctors had removed my appendix, I was able to go about my life free and happy without the need to constantly take pain medication. I thought about this when I quit smoking. I knew that if I ever wanted to heal, and I mean truly heal, then I couldn't keep taking pain medication in the form of chocolate and cakes and some pizza. I knew that I had to dig around for the root cause of my pain and do something about it. Honestly, it's no coincidence that when I stopped neglecting my emotional well-being and started taking better care of my mental health, then my physical health improved tremendously. So, if you find yourself in a similar situation right now, then now is the time to be kind to yourself. You can do this by learning to stop acting on instinct and start acting with intention. If your initial instinct is to run to the fridge every time you feel something, you'll find it helpful to find some way of putting a pause between that thought and your next action. This can be as simple as printing off your favorite motivational quote or a picture that you really love and putting it somewhere where you'll see it whenever you reach for food. That could be on the fridge door, inside a cupboard, or even inside your wallet so that you'll see it the next time you reach for money to buy another takeaway. Choose a picture or a quote or whatever it may be which reminds you to pause and take a deep breath. As you're reaching for that food source, you're likely to be driven purely by emotion. So, once you've paused, you may find it helpful to return to cognitive thinking by practicing breathing exercises or running through the grounding technique that I've shared with you back in chapter 21. For those listening to this video, I'll link to the grounding technique and the breathing exercises down in the description below. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself back into a cognitive state. Once you're there, consider the following question. Am I reaching for food because I'm genuinely hungry or my blood sugar is low? Or am I reaching for food because I'd rather eat than deal with the emotions that I'm experiencing? If you think it might be due to hunger or blood sugar, walk away. If you still feel the same way after 10 minutes, walk back to the kitchen and make a mindful decision to eat something that your body will thank you for. If, on the other hand, you realize that you're only reaching for food to change the way that you feel, you can now make a more helpful decision about how to deal with those feelings. Journaling and free association writing, reaching out to a supportive friend, loved one, or counselor, practicing breathing exercises and meditation, all of these things can be helpful in this endeavor. As with everything in this book, I implore you to find something that works for you so that you can truly heal that hurt without reaching for food or a cigarette. That was chapter 25 from Quit Smoking and Be Happy. Again, you can get the book in print and ebook forms from chrisscoyles.com/book. For more support, do come and join us in our Quit Smoking support group on Facebook, Finding Freedom, where there is a wonderful community of people supporting each other through the good and the bad and everything in between that goes with quitting smoking. You can find us at facebook.com/groups/findingfreedom1. Until next time, thank you for listening.